wanna know? What you wanna know now? What you wanna know now? What you wanna know? Why?
Actually, not quite.
There is there is one BAQ26 random subscriber saying that you've mentioned one of your videos regarding your beloved sister. Your sister, your biological sister. You've mentioned that about a dowry that you're saying.
That you're saying
about
marriage.
Yes, your sister's dowry was a holy Quran.
Yes, and mine.
Oh,
For my wife as well. Because my dad prescribed. My dad was a OG. He's like, listen, you want to get married?
Authentic Muslim.
Authentic, and obviously, and he's like, okay. Thing is about my dad is that when his dad was alive, and his dad died when he was like 11.
Oh.
Right? So his dad was the type of guy who would go around Manama. Are you married, Salman? No. Why are you not married? Oh, I can't afford it. No problem. He'd pay for it. Yalla, get them married, right? And he'd get, like, just make life easy for everyone. He was the top G in that sense, right?
Okay.
And so my dad never appreciated or valued money. You know, of course you have to make money, but he put no value to it, right? It's all about life and humanitarianism. So when it came to marriage, so when my brother-in-law asked for my sister's hand in marriage, how much you want for the dowry? He said, no, just a copy of the Quran. Copy of the Quran is basically the cheapest way to say nothing.
Correct.
Right? Just get married, you're a good guy, you know, you're going to take care of her, khalas, done. Right? So that's what I meant. It's like, so it never comes from a materialistic background. At that time, he was broke, by the way. So you want to talk about my obstacles? The day I got married, the next day he went bankrupt. So and then I got stuck in that obstacle, right? But what I'm saying is, whether he had money or didn't have money, he never put a value to a marriage, which is between a man and a woman, and they're living your life. Why should you pay? Why should it be hard to get married? Making marriages hard results in two things. Either you're going to get materialistic people, or people who are not meant to be together, or you're going to let a guy who can't afford to get married go do the haram instead of getting married halal way and living his life, right? So in the Prophet's day, what's the best way to get married? Why do you need a 10,000 dinar wedding hall thing?
But in a way, like, you know, you wouldn't let someone marry your daughter if like he was a broker, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you want to secure like your kid's future, you know what I mean?
Okay, but it's not about, if he's not a broker,
like your kid's future, you know what I mean?
Okay, but
then he
I'll
would pay it willingly.
If he's not a broker,
he would.
No, by the way, he's a normal guy. He's working for it from the opposite side. He would.
I mean, like,
no, by the way, he would. Good guy. Now, why ask for it from the opposite side? Yeah, you can see the guy is a good guy. Now, instead of him paying, let's say, 10 grand dowry or whatever it is, right? Why don't you just keep that 10 grand for your marriage and for your life and for your house and for your holidays and for whatever it is that you're doing?
Maybe you don't know.
Why put a price on
or something? You know what I mean?
Why make it different? And then on the other side,
you don't know. You're saying a broken or something. You know what I mean?
So are you saying, and then on the other side, I would say,
he can't provide.
are you saying a brokey should not get?
Why would he get married? He cannot afford it.
So,
he can't provide.
Let's say you're talking about. Well, it depends on what you're talking about. So, for example, let's say you're talking about your average Bahraini guy. Okay, let's be realistic now. Who's earning, let's say, between 400 and 450
enough money
a month
to provide.
Okay. Should he never get married because of that? He spends all on the dowry.
Enough money to provide.
Okay. And then he spends all on the dowry. Then you're going to start your life in a negative.
I would completely disagree.
Like, I agree. By the way, I can agree on one thing. Let's say the exit clause, the ma'akhara. You divorce, okay. You know, you want your wife to be taken care of. Okay, here's the ma'akhara as an example, right?
Do you agree on the thing?
No, I mean, look, because we don't have your typical Islamic divorce. It's not like a Western divorce where you go to court and battle it out, blah blah blah, right?
What do you mean?
No, as in like in the West, in the West, you just be like 50-50, yalla. You know, when you divorce. There is, by the way.
No, do you like? I'm sorry to ask, but do you?
We have an entry. It's not about that. See, okay, for example, in my marriage, my entry was a Quran, same as my sister.
Got you.
Trip to Hajj. What? Trip to Hajj. Oh. By the way, you could put anything. It doesn't have to be money.
Okay.
Right? So I'm just talking to his point about you wouldn't want your daughter to marry.
Your mu'akhar was a trip to Hajj? Yeah. No, seriously talking.
Seriously.
Your marriage, mu'akhar, was a trip to Hajj.
Yes.
So, are you currently married?
No, I'm divorced. And the entry was copy of the Quran.
Al-mahar kan Quran.
Yes.
Okay, so you were divorced correctly. So did you go to...
Not me go, pay for her to go.
Okay, you did that. So in order to get married, in order to get divorced.
I didn't do that.
So if she divorced you, she get it.
Okay.
That's the first one. But
I want to talk about love.
no, look, it depends on how you agree. Okay? Now, you want to talk about divorces? That's a whole different conversation.
I want to talk about love.
But let's talk about
The definition of love.
No, but literally, I want to talk about this marriage thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the West, you can have a prenuptial agreement.
Okay.
Right? Where you can agree that when you get married, in case of divorce, this is all you get.
It works here as
The
well.
wife. Or the husband, but it can work both ways, depending on who's richer. Right? In order to protect, well, that's the mahar. It's the same as a prenup. So I'm saying Islam had this way before the Western courts developed this prenup thing.
You're talking about the
mahar
never existed.
I'm sorry.
Mu'akhar never existed.
When you divorce,
Never existed.
I don't know the history of it, but I'm saying
Never existed. No. Mu'akhar, bro, listen to me. Mu'akhar. شروط الزواج. Oh, in case of this, or you're getting married, you need to do 1, 2, 3, or 4. Or in case, God forbid, you're getting divorced, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4. That never existed.
Sure, but what I'm saying
Only now, only the modern
I don't know how many years ago this came about.
decades.
Right? But it came way before this prenup thing, right? But the point is not that. The point is like, I don't believe marriage should be difficult, and I'll tell you why. And I'll counter Salman's argument here, right? Because in today's world anyway, let's say you're like, you need to pay 20 grand to marry my daughter, as an example, or whatever the price you want, right? The guy doesn't have 20. Okay? What is he doing anyway? He's dating your daughter haram anyway. You think you're stopping that by putting a price? He's just not marrying her. He's just, I'm sorry, but he's just going to sleep with her anyway, or just hang out with her until he saves up that money. Would you not rather just put them in the halal? But it happens. We have to really, oh my God. Okay, now we're getting into gray areas.
Have you heard about the 21 days concept? 21 day concept. 21 days concept. No, 21 day concept. Okay, 21 day concept. For an example, a guy with a poor thing wants to marry my daughter. Hey, Jocelyn, salam alaikum.
Cool.
I want to off the dick or whatever, right? Not talking about the formalities, the meetings, the professionalism, whatever that we know traditionally and what's going on nowadays. Sure. I don't do that. I'm going to have you for 21 days and only 21 days trial.
Sure.
If you achieve successfully that trial, then you get to marry my daughter. But if you failed,
but what if it succeeded, but there's a 20 grand price tag?
No. I'm not going to put any price. It has nothing to do with financially.
Oh, no.
I don't care. Even if you were a broke, even if you're a job.
But the reason we bring up this point was because the point you brought up about the price tag, which I said, yes, I said my dad would say it's a copy of the Quran. It's very simple.
Yes.
Right? It's nothing to do financially.
Okay.
Right? That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Now, what Salman was saying is like, no, but what if he's a brokey? You should put a price.
That's what he said.
And I said, well, if the guy loves your daughter and your daughter loves him, and whether we want to admit it or not, they're still dating. Like, let's be in 2023, to be honest. And let's be in Bahrain as well.
How do you define love?
Love
If you said right now, if that guy loves my daughter and my daughter loves that guy, for you, what is the definition of love?
I know the definition.
The definition of love, it's a tough one.
I know.
But
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
I mean, definition of love for me is when you're infatuated by one person, you're willing to spend all your life with that one person, and you're willing to do anything take with that one person, and you're both mutually happy and connected.
So you agree having a love life first, dating, getting to know each other, and then getting married? Or getting married first and then
Listen, let's be honest. We're never gonna do the other, right? So back in the day, you turn up, that's your wife, and whatever, that doesn't happen anymore. You can talk, you can talk, you can chat, right? Like even Islamically, by the way, if her relative is there, you can have conversations or whatever. You're just not doing anything physically. Yeah, but even
when you sign,
even before, you can talk to this person, right? And get to know her.
You get to know her, talk to her.
Yeah, get to know her because obviously you're not marrying a stranger,
you're not
right?
taking her out. You're not sleeping with her. You're not having her for dinner.
No, but you can take her out if her family member is there with you.
No, you can't.
You can.
No, you cannot.
You can.
No, you cannot.
If her brother's gonna come out with her, you can.
If her brother, you guys gonna meet up in their house and their family.
Okay, let's say we go to a restaurant and her brother is there. It's not fine.
Yeah, it could be in a modern way.
No, Islamically, if someone else is there, that's her mahram, that's okay.
No, in an Islamic way, you're gonna meet up at the home of the family.
I mean, whether it's a home or not a home doesn't matter.
Once it's agreed from both parties, both of you gonna go to a mosque where the judge there.
But the thing is, now you're confusing things because you want to talk pure Islamic or you want to talk about the reality?
I'm talking about reality.
So reality, what happens? Yes, you do.
Quite the opposite.
Yes, you do chat. Yes, you do go out. Yes, you do all of it. Right?
There's no meaning for that.
So we're talking about the reality.
Okay.
We're not doing, it's not some Islamic majlis where we're going to talk about
it's an open
what the laws of religion.
But he's saying that he will never agree to a guy.
He says, this is Bahrain and this doesn't happen, and I have to disagree with him that we all live in Bahrain and we know this happens. Now, it depends on the girl's morale, I guess, in that situation, whether she does or not. Okay, the guy will obviously By the way, this is a very interesting point here. And coming back to the price as well. In Ramadan,
right,
I was launching, just before Ramadan, I was launching my sister's application, Nasib, which is a marriage application. Right? Where you can connect with people based on personality, you don't see a picture, right, based on preference, and then you can chat based on halal Tinder, right?
Your sister's a khattaba?
No, she used to do it as a hobby, then they made an app.
Cool.
So I'm talking about the app.
بالعكس نزوج اثنين بالعكس.
By the way, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's no like sleaziness in it, there's no pictures or anything like that. You match on personality, you chat, and if you decide to whatever you do, khalas, that's up to you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you meet the person based on your values, your beliefs, your requirements, and things like that, right? So anyway, again, why X marketing things? I took that after number 1 in like 5 days, right? But anyway, let's leave that aside. This is just some profiles on that.
Okay.
No, but anyway, what I noticed, this most important thing. In Ramadan, I was like, I can't go to the streets and ask people about marriage and stuff, right? So what do? So I went to the majlises in the villages of Bahrain, right? So I went to the guys' majlis, like the sister took you to the women's majlis, to ask questions, what do you look for in a wife? What's important to you? Things like that, content-wise, right? Now, I have to say something. In the villages of Bahrain, right? You've got people who are very humble people, they're more religious outside of the villages. They never leave their village, by the way, unless they're going to work. You know what I mean? They like to chill in their village. The community is all connected, right? They're all brothers and sisters in there. Guys chill, girls chill. They do picnics, whatever, play football. Like they're very much intertwined. No one's making thousands, right? They're all very normal jobs. but they're all so happy.
Peaceful.
Peaceful and happy.
Right.
We make more money, we're not happy. Right? You could be making thousands and you're still depressed, right? You go, you still be sitting in
Money
a
will
restaurant.
not buy you happiness. That's
Money does not
you
buy
guys have
happiness.
money,
Never
So
buy
now,
happiness.
in the,
You see,
Bro,
here's the thing.
no, no,
you need to understand. You need to understand that money will never give you happiness.
no. What I'm
You
saying
have
is,
money and you
what
have
I'm,
No, but God bless you guys.
okay.
But you guys have money, okay?
We're not talking about having or not having.
Money can.
We're talking
I'm
about
not
money.
talking about that. I'm not talking about
It's an
that.
illusion.
I'm not talking, by the way, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about,
You know what I mean?
You
Yeah,
can like
it can
buy
amplify your
happiness. You can
but no,
can
but money,
make your life easier.
money is an amplifier.
Amplify it, yes.
Money, but money. Here's my point. Buy you morals, for example. Money amplifies who you are, right? Money makes it does not buy you morals, for example, right? If you're a moral person, money makes amplifies. Maybe you do more khair, right? What I'm saying is, you're not a moral person. Maybe you go down a different way in the world, right? But
Like everybody.
but what I'm saying is, when I was in this village, I'm like, everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, everyone's so connected, like a brother sisterhood. We, in the modern world, no matter how many people we know, we always feel isolated, right? Because we're not really part of that loving community, right? You might be on your phone and you've got thousands of people you're connected to. You might be with your wife, but you're still on WhatsApp and whatever the whole time, right? You might be with your friends, but you're still checking your phone and all of that stuff. But these guys don't even look at their phones. They're just enjoying the simple things in life. So therefore, when it comes to marriage, they all realize they're at the same sort of level. Is he a good guy, is the question they ask. Not is he a rich guy. You know, because you're young, because they marry young as well. And they're like, I don't expect you to be rich at 21, but are you mu'min? Are you moral? Do you have ambition? Right? Because then you can build your life together.
No. How do you define happiness? What makes you happy? Please, take it down.
That's a very hard question.
Bro, there's two questions that you didn't give me answer. Why do you define love?
I define love to you.
No, you
What I
didn't.
thought was love.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, he didn't.
I did.
No, he did. But because he didn't finish.
I did explain, but what's your...
You explained, but you never defined
Because it's a
it.
very hard one to define.
Love, okay.
And you are
exists
avoiding
for a
it.
certain, period of
What is
time,
it?
but the other things will remain, for the rest of your life.
Okay,
So you need to be with someone you understand, someone who understands you. Not like don't just aim on love.
I think
Someone who understands you.
I think love.
Aim on love.
I think you made a good point, because I think love is what continues after the lust. The chemical reaction you're talking about is lust, right? But then it's like after you go through that initial period of 1 year or whatever, do you still love this person? You still want to be... Lust is a very sexual dopamine drive.
It's all about misguidance, guys. It's all about misguidance. The true definition of love is the true definition of happiness.
What is happiness?
Let me tell you what is happiness. Happiness is in your timeline. Happiness is in your family. Happiness is what you've done in the timeline has been given to you. You're aware that you're not an immortal. Do you believe in immortality?
No, of course not.
No one is immortal. Everybody's giving time, and the time will be taken one day, but we don't know when and how. So true love is what you achieve during that time. Of having children, of having great invention, of great charity work, and many things. Because these are the only things that give you quick feelings after your time.
I think...
These the only three things. Yes! In timeline. Yes. What is it? Okay, you get consumed by it because you're missing.
Okay, well, can I?
The happiness is about being loved.
Can I?
What you do and what you have. Your love is for your children.
I'm sorry, but I will never understand that.
Trust me. Your love is your children, your family, your home.
Okay, no,
He understands
I understand. I understand, but still, like, you have fathers that kill themselves, right? So I'm saying, I think the definition of happiness, let's call it happiness, is being content. Because when you're content, you're happy. Well, the reason we become unhappy is because there's something we're not content about, right? When you're fully content with yourself, then you don't care what your environment is, and you're a content person. That's why they say the hardest thing to achieve is being fully content.
Correct.
I think that is happiness. And if you realize the moments you're happy is because you're content in that moment. But to be content always is the most difficult struggle. And I don't think life, this world, is designed for us to be happy. Because if we were happy, right, especially as men, and probably as women as well, right, is that being happy means you're content, which means you don't have a drive to go do something, which means you're not being tested in one way or the other. And the whole point of this world, the one we live in, because yes, we don't live forever, is every day there's an examination and a test, and whether we pass it or not, right? But if we're truly happy from the moment we were born to the moment we die, where's the test?
Exactly. The test is what you do before you go.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you were happy.
You're happy doing
No,
it.
doesn't mean you're happy. No, okay, you're making it, you're confusing things. If I had to go to war, because as part of what I did, does it mean I was happy while I was at war? No, I just had to do that, right? But it doesn't make me happy to do it.
But you don't have to make babies if you're not feeling making you happy.
No,
I mean, you choose to make children. You choose to
you're confusing things. Having kids makes you happy, yes.
Absolutely.
But does that make you happy all the time? No. Because you still have to deal with the realities of life. You now have kids, for example, okay? And now, for some reason, you're pregnant. You don't know how to feed these kids. Are you happy?
No, I know how to feed those kids.
I'm saying as an example. I'm just giving you an example. One doesn't connect to the other. Kids bring happiness, but like you said, money and kids, right? Mal and why? Because you need to sustain both, right?
Right.
It's a balance. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, then, for example, you get sent to prison for something you didn't do. As an example, are you happy in there? No. You could have kids, you could have everything, but you're still not happy. The point is, happiness is a temporary thing that comes and goes, depending on how content you are in that period of your life.
How do you think about this example?
What do you mean?
For example, talking about myself, not talking about any other people. Talking about myself.
You have kids.
I do have two.
Are you happy all the time?
I was confident when I spent 4 months in jail.
Were you happy?
Knowing my mission, my solo mission was completed.
If you're being honest,
the only thing that I was worried about is the people around me.
But
One of them I was calling.
But that means you're not happy in that period, right?
I am safe in that period because I know what I've done.
And I'm not.
I've secured myself.
I know, and I'm not just talking about that time. I'm talking about literally since
because you mentioned
I brought that up generally. I wasn't talking about you.
No, I'm talking about in a situation.
But I mean, generally speaking, since the moment your kids are born to the moment you die, are you happy all the time? No, it's not.
Children.
You're happy for them. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy being with them, having them. I'm happy having children. The greatest joy of happiness is truly having children.
Sure.
The happiest women on earth, talking about women, are those who have children and everyone around them.
Okay.
Their children having children and children and children.
I'm with you.
The greatest days per the week is having fun with all of us are together.
I'm with you. But you asked for a definition of happiness. I'm saying you cannot be happy every day.
Yes, that's true. That's true. You cannot be happy.
You have down days, you have up days, you have situations that happen. You cannot be happy all the time. So I said, what is happiness? I said, it's the moment
their happiness is your.
That is correct, but you should always be ready for anything.
Their happiness is your.
Sure. Yes. And you should always be ready for what's best and what's worst. Sure. Prepared. That is the psychological issue between most of human beings. Everyone, mostly everyone, whether young or old people, rich or poor, black or white or yellow, all of us are prepared for good things. If I told you, for example, next week we have one of our good guys' birthday.
Sure.
You know what you're supposed to do. You're going to get shaved, dress nice, go shave, bring a gift. You know the whole thing. You're ready for it.
Sure.
Even if I told you it's tonight, you can just throw yourself real quick in an hour and then you can attend the birthday party. But what if I told you there's a war coming after 3 hours? You would be like, let's go. But other people would be.
That depends on what the war is about.
Exactly.
Maybe you don't believe in the war.
So nobody's ready for what's worst. Everybody's ready for what's best.
I'm just gonna say something that real men, all men, are not born to be happy. And if we were happy all the time, we would achieve nothing. We achieve through our unhappiness, through our struggles.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you
feel joy if I have trouble.
If you're just on cloud 9 all the time, no one would achieve anything.
That's true.
So that's
happiness, and this.
That's why I said you're happy whilst you're content, but you're not going to be content all the time.
We are logical people. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As men,
that's
we are logical. We are logical.
I take it in a positive way.
Yes.
In a positive way.
Our happiness doesn't matter.
Because you're a provider, you can't be happy until you provide more. You know what I mean?
We think about getting the shit.
It doesn't matter. We don't think about it. We don't think about am I happy or not.
Yeah. I never thought of it.
And you're talking a difference between being positive and being happy.
Yes.
You could be positive like we're in a shit situation, but we're do this. That's being positive. That's not being happy.
Happiness is from depends on the people that we love. How we make them happy.
What was it?
Because our feelings are relevant. Because we are men. We are men.
Yes.
Irrelevant. You rather be unhappy and make your children happy.
Yes.
Then to watch it and be like, well, I'm happy because they're happy. My point is, it's not about happiness. Happiness does not exist. If you watch the movie Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, what was it? He's in struggle the whole time, right? Just to make it and break it. It's the struggle, it's the drive. Because if he's pursuing happiness, right? But he's not happy in that moment, because if he was, he'd just sit there with his kid and do nothing.
I think, people who are
That's
living
true.
a simple life are more happy.
What do you think about it, Salman?
People who live outside of the matrix, like you said earlier, because
in the village, for example.
yes, because they are connected.
In the village, for example. I said they look happy.
Yes,
Meaning, not like, oh my god, I need to. But why? Because they're content. Neighbor doing. Meaning, they're not like, oh my god, I need to make $1 million. They're like, no, how's my neighbor doing?
These kind of people, they don't get
Alhamdulillah, I've got this job, I got the food on the table. We're happy.
These kind of people, they don't get far.
Doesn't matter, but they're happy. It's not about going far or not. We're all gonna die anyway. But my point is, it's a very deep question about what happiness is. And I just said,
it's not about
these people look more happy. Now,
journey.
obviously, they go through their own tests.
Like what
Everyone
loves
loves
what history you live.
Yeah.
What you do in life.
Do you think?
By
the way, do you not think it's difficult in today's world where you have desires everywhere, temptation everywhere? Even if you're in the right, you're still on your phone. You're still gonna go out to your job. You're still gonna be
Discipline.
affected by things, but they have to it's about self-control, right? So, discipline. So what I'm saying is, the whole point about this was that we cannot be happy all the time, because happy people don't achieve anything. You think Elon Musk is happy? $290 billion later, he looks like the most miserable person every time he talks about it.
He sleeps in a couch.
He's very stressed out and blah, blah, blah. He could just sit and be like kumbaya, right? Because he has all the money in the world to do that, right? But then that would not give him the drive to keep building and building and building.